Hey y'all, Unamused Hamster back. We're gonna do another build. I needed to actually run another build and actually make another build for Diablo 4. This was because I actually had some issues I had to deal with, some actual problems that I needed to solve. And the big thing is I love my other minion build I made, but couldn't get me past level 47 Nightmare Dungeons when everything was fine-tuned. That build is still not 100% fine-tuned and whatnot, but I'm still going to update it just to give some people, excess pleasure into doing that. However, here we are about another minion build that I made. This is literally called Unamused Hamster's OSBMTU build. For those that read the description, it is Unamused Hamster's Overdrive Shadow Blight Minions of 2 Uniques build. Yes, I know that's a long name. That's the reason why I came up with an acronym for it. But that's all right, because we're going to utilize minions with Shadow Blight. We're gonna do a level 43 Nightmare Dungeon. It's completely crap gear. This was gear that I had just thrown together and everything. I did transfer my gems. I kept my gem style the same as my other build. I kept my vampiric abilities. Sorry for the kind of pause for a minute. I kept my vampiric abilities and transferred that over, but everything else has changed. The gear is completely garbage gear. There's stuff that was out of my inventory that I needed to get rid of and figure out what to do with. And as much as I liked my other one, I needed a new build. So I decided to take my gear and clean out my inventory of all ancestral legendary gear. I found the best pieces of gear I could. I wanted to do something with Shadow and Blight both combined, but I wanted to do it with minions. And so I found this system that in my stuff. I had some very useful abilities in this. As you can see, I'm using a one-handed scythe, keeping my reanimation on my scythe. But I'm also using Decay. I'm using Decay as an offhand system with a Sapphire Gem, which is different from my original build. And then we're using Boots of the Void. As you can see, crap stats. As you can see on here, crap stats, although those are decent stats for a decent roll. And then here, we're using Hardened Bones again. As you can see, crap stats. Frenzied Dead. Usually you like to put this on a piece of jewelry, but we'll get to that in a moment, why we're not doing that. We're looking at, summoning minions, gain extra. But as you can see, crap stats. Although, those are some pretty good stats, especially that double lucky hit system. That is a rare roll right there. If anything, I may just keep that just to keep it, because that's a hard roll to get. Explosive Mist is another one. That is a absolute must in this build. And we're also using the Occult of the Dominion to increase the number of skeletal mages. Now, how this makes 2 uniques is we're using Banished Lord's Talisman. We're also using Mother's Embrace. We use a lot of essence in this build, so I needed a way to be able to either reduce the cost of essence or be able to make everything work better. So, where it produces more essence. So, producing more essence didn't really pan out like I had hoped. But the Mother's Embrace really works very good. Mind you, the only core ability I have on this build is Blight. But that's all right in this case because we don't need a lot of essence to keep this going. We just needed a little bit of essence to keep going, but not a whole lot, which is why we're using Blight and Mother's Embrace. We're also using Blighted Circle as well. That is also going to help with our key passive damages. So we have a key passive with Blighted Circle with our ring. But then we also have Lotus of the Decay, which also increases the Shadow Blight key passive skill. And with the Banished Lords, we have Overpower. We deal 104% more increased damage, up to 120 if we have it, with 300 of primary resource spent. So that is why we call this the Overdrive Shadow Blight Minions build of 2 uniques, because we're using 2 uniques and we're using an Overpower Overdrive feature. So with that being said, we're going to do an on-level Nightmare Dungeon. I'm level 97, so we're going to do a level 43 Nightmare Dungeon, because 43 Nightmare Dungeon is 97 enemies. The very big thing you need to realize about this is you can fight this at close range, but if you do, at all costs, watch your health. At all costs, watch your health. This build has very little armor, and you will die quickly if you get too overwhelmed. You do need to utilize your dodge in a case like that very carefully. The moment you stop watching your health is the moment that things will go bad for you and you will die. So if you don't want to do that, I advise keep moving or fight at a distance. You'll see me moving around a lot, but you also see me fighting at a distance a lot, because I like to use a combination and get in position quite nicely and let my minions deal with most of the work. And if I can get minions away, or the enemies away from me, I can actually fight at a distance for a little bit until some more enemies come towards me. And as you can see, 97 with 97 enemies, we are just flat out dealing massive amount of damage. And as you can see, 97 enemies. And the best part is, I'm not gonna make this a short one. We're just gonna keep up. We're gonna keep this going, and we're gonna utilize this. I'm gonna go through this entire Nightmare Dungeon all the way from start to finish for your benefit, so you can see this in action. Now, you may not be able to see a lot of action at all because, fighting at a distance, but that's all right. So, our main goal is to survive, not to die. Our goal is to survive and let our minions deal with all the work. And yes, this build does use some vulnerability, but not a lot of vulnerability. A lot of minion builds want to use vulnerability. We're using full-on shadow. We're doing, massive amounts of shadow. And between the buffs we do with our minions and the shadow that you're producing on everything you do, pretty much, you are producing a lot of damage that is just melting creatures on level, as you can see. Channeling! That is this build's best friend! Boom! Just annihilation time! Always make sure you're watching your health when you're near enemies. Some enemies you can take, other enemies you cannot. But always dodge anything that is coming on the ground, like mortars or poison or stuff. Especially if you're taking a lot of damage and you know you're taking a lot of damage. It's actively, consciously watching your health at all times while going where you're going. Gotta keep track of that health. The moment you see that health going down quickly for any given reason, dodge the heck out. It takes a little bit to ramp up the overdrive part of it, and this build only does give you one dodge to work with, but that's all right. And that's right, as you see, I don't even have my board maxed out. I know exactly what I want already for my board to help my minions out, because my entire board is built for the minions, while the legendary powers themselves are built for, legendary powers and the skills are built for buffing at more damage with the minions. So it's a two-piece combo system. In fact, I don't think it's actually been done before from any build that I have actually seen or tried myself. And just imagine what this build could do whenever I fine-tune it, whenever I actually start finding stats. I mean, this is just, like I said, this is just a thrown-together build. There was no planning behind it except the fact that I needed to get rid of legendary gear, and I wanted a new build to work with, so I invented a new build with crap gear, basically, and kept certain features of my old build. Skill board is the same. The legendary power, the skill board is the same. The vampiric powers are the same. The gems are the same. But the gear, the way the gear is set up, and the legendary powers is set up, and the skills are set up is completely different. As you can see, it just annihilates. Gotta destroy the corpse piles, huh? Woo! And as you can see, I'm not having to use very much potions either. Every once in a while I will, but you don't have to use a lot of potions with this build. It kind of heals heals itself, basically. Sorry for repeating stuff. Sorry for having a speech impediment of some sort. I do have what is called Asperger's syndrome, a form of autism. So my learning disabilities and my speech, not that great. So I do apologize. Even my spelling is terrible. So, and I play games to have fun, not to go to school. But people think that, you know, having proper language skills, even in a game, when it's meant to have a break from real life, is a necessity. They feel like they have to teach people, or have to make people go to school while they're playing a game. It's so stupid. Yes, there is a bit of a stun effect too going on that is also helping this. If you haven't noticed that. We got ice to freeze them, we got stun that stuns them, we got explosions everywhere, we got shadow blight everywhere. We're just massively causing lots and lots of damage. And we use Decrepify to be able to increase said damage to enemies. Got lots of status effects going on the enemies, like not just one particular status effect. We have multiple status effects and debuffs going on the enemies. Vulnerable, shadow, dot damage, we got explosions, we got stun effects, we got chilling effects that freezes them for a time. We got it all going. Okay, boss time. We have to travel to the Blighted Tomb. Because we are in the Blighted event. The Midwinter Blight event. So, yeah, the Blighted Tomb. Get that extra blighted stuff. You can only get blighted tombs and blighted stuff after you get level 3 in the blight, in the Midwinter Blight. If you can get level 3 in Midwinter Blight, you unlock nightmare dungeons that can actually give you better stuff. So you can continue doing nightmare dungeons and still be able to get Midwinter Blight stuff. Most people probably have already figured this out, but if you are one of those people that have not figured this out yet, or know about it, now you know. We'll even show you what we get for completing it. Just melting this dude in its crap gear. Boom! Hey, look at that! I got that going for me. I will take that. I got Tree of Whispers I can go take care of. We get our nice little blighted cast for getting level 3 in blighted thing. You get all these blighted fragments and relics and stuff. So that's fun. I don't hold on to crap yellow gear anymore, so it gets all dropped down. And we put all our points into that. And there we go. And there we go. We have successfully completed a Nightmare on level dungeon with crap gear, with the same gems, with the same Paragon board, with the same exact vampiric powers, and all I changed was the legendary powers, and all I changed was the was going from a two-handed weapon to a one-handed weapon and an offhand, as well as using 2 uniques instead of 1. And as you can see, on level, it's pretty power for crap gear. I mean, come on, people, that was crap gear. There's been no setup, no nothing other than just crap gear setup and changing the powers and finding what will work. So, with that being said, if you want to try this build, if you want to come help me improve on this build by adding me to the list, you can actually find my gamer tag. My actual gamer tag is, I believe, Unamused Hamster, if I remember correctly. So yeah, my gamer tag is Unhamster. If you want to help me improve this, I encourage you to do so. I encourage you to help me figure out what tweaks and stuff to do so, and help me improve this. As you can, like I said, as you can see, this is a very, very crap build thrown together with whatever I had, and if on level, it is a very, very powerful build for crap gear. I am actually going to wait until I get to level 100 and start fine-tuning the build with the proper skills and the proper proper stuff, including upgrading the legendary powers. We'll wait on that until I can get the next 3 levels. As you can see, I'm almost level 98, so we're almost there to level 100. So we will wait until we get to level 100 before we actually go that route. Now, as you can see, I didn't use any potions. You know, no bonus potions, no bonus incense, no nothing. I wanted to show its glory with no bonuses except what you get at base level, with no extra passive bonuses. What you get, what you see, is what you got. at this build. It is, as you can see, it is completely functional. It is completely worthy to be used. It's not fine-tuned yet by a long shot, because it is just thrown together in the last hour. But even though it was thrown together in the last hour at the time of making this video, and you see that it was very powerful on level, I believe this could be a very good meta build in the end. It may not be top quality meta build, but it would be a meta build, I think. But at the same time, it's also fun, because who doesn't like explosions everywhere, and blight, and shadow, and vulnerability, and freezing your enemies, and also stunning your enemies? You just got all of it going at once, and it's just so powerful. With that being said, hope you enjoy what you've seen, and at me as Unamused Hamster, ciao. Have a good night, day, evening, whatever the case may be. You just have a good one, and hope to see you in game. And if you want, you can add me as a friend and message me and help improve this build. With that being said, enjoy this build like I'm going to.